Hyen's life by transforming Byung-gu into a shadow soldier. As the Korean hunters departed, Jin-woo stayed behind to clear the remaining ants. Afterward, he reached level 100 and resurrected the Ant King as a shadow soldier, naming him Beru. New characters were introduced, including a Chinese S-rank hunter and two potential future enemies, while Jin-woo's father observed them from the shadows. After the Jeju Island raid, Jin-woo honored those who had lost their lives. He then secured permission to open his own guild before stepping into another Red Gate alone. Inside the Red Gate, Jin-woo's shadow soldiers fought against the gate's monsters. He managed to find the boss, and the creature asked him if he was the one who had been killing his people. It tells Jin-woo that it is impressed he managed to reach this far with such a small body, but this is where it all ends. He orders his people to come out, as he had already stationed them, to ambush Jin-woo in this place. But nothing happens. The creature wonders what is going on and why his minions are not responding to the signal. We see Jin-woo standing there. He tells the creature, "Call me small now." That's funny. He gives the signal, and the place starts to fill up with shadow soldiers as they come out of the forest with the heads of defeated minions. As the soldiers emerge, Jin-woo taunts the creature, saying, "Seems like no one is left." The creature wonders what is going on, and all of a sudden, he gets hit in the face by something. As he checks, it is another one of the dead minions. He looks towards Jin-woo, who is standing alongside his army. Seeing this, the creature starts to panic and orders his henchmen to destroy them. Jin-woo also orders his soldiers to take care of all the enemies, and both sides start to charge toward each other. The fight starts. The shadow soldiers were far superior compared to the advancing enemy, and they started to take out all of them without any issue. Meanwhile, Jin-woo was making his way toward the boss as Tank cleared the path for him. Seeing this, the boss gets furious and charges toward Jin-woo. But before he could do anything, Beru, along with Igris, starts to cut it down. Beru cuts off one of its arms, while Igris chops off its leg, and the creature falls to the ground. As it looks up, it sees Tusk towering over him, using his ability, inverse gravity, to pin the beast to the ground. With the boss pressed against the ground, Jin-woo slowly advances toward it. As he gets to the creature's face, he tells the thing, "Now you will answer my questions. It will be less painful for you if you do." After he interrogates the beast, he stands in front of its lifeless body, thinking, it must be the system interfering again, as he was not able to gather any important information from the boss. He opens his inventory, saying, "I'll find out sooner or later anyway, so it should be fine." He brings out a key from his inventory that he received from the cursed random box, thinking, I reached level 100 at the Jeju Island raid and met the minimum requirements to unlock the dungeon. He looked at the key and was able to see its description. It was the key to the Cardion Temple, and a timer was displayed, showing how much time remained before he could enter the dungeon. Once the time ran out, the key would expire. While reading the description, he starts to get flashbacks of the dungeon from the last time he was there, thinking the system was calling him back to the place where it all started. But things were different this time, as he had grown much stronger compared to the last time he was there. He wonders if it was all planned from the beginning, and if it's waiting for his return. If that's the case, then wait for me. We see an entity sitting inside the dungeon as it smirks, hearing Jin-woo say, "I'll be coming soon." The scene shifts to a dungeon where a man is panicking as a dark figure stands before him. The man asks the creature about its identity, and the figure replies, "He's not the one either. They're hiding cleverly, aren't they?" The brilliant fragments of light. Silid, the king of snowfolk and the monarch of frost, notices something behind him. As he turns, he sees Yogyamunt, the king of demonic specters and the monarch of transfiguration. Yogyamunt tells Silid that he has come to inform him about the East Island. Silid asks if he is talking about the small island, noting that it is the place of the Shadow Monarch. He then asks if Yogyamunt has decided to take care of that place. Yogyamunt tells him that the rulers have decided to release their legions south of that location, adding, "I'll take that place." Silid asks, "How are you planning to deal with the Shadow Monarch, who is also there?" Yogyamunt replies, "It'll be all right if the planner fulfills the contract." With a smirk, he adds, "The greatest fragment of brilliant light has been confirmed in that place as well." Hearing this, Silid becomes excited. He asks, "You intentionally came here just to tell me that?" Yugyaman then asks what Silid plans to do with that information. Silid replies, "If you are willing to follow me, then why not?" During their conversation, Silid suddenly notices something. He tells Yogyaman, "It looks like we were being lured here." Another person walks up to them. Silid comments, "The person earlier can't possibly wield the power of the brilliant fragments of light, so I was wondering why a trace of that power was here. This person plans to get in our way." With rage in his eyes, the man asks them about the small island to the east, questioning if they are referring to Korea. Silid asks, "What are you going to do about it?" From behind, Yogyaman tells them, "We do not have time to deal with him." As they begin to leave, Silid taunts the man, "Try and stop us if you can." The man charges toward them, declaring, "I won't let you escape." As he strikes, Silid effortlessly blocks the attack with his ice shield. With a grin on his face, he prepares to counterattack. As he unleashes his power, a massive explosion engulfs the area. The scene shifts to Jinwoo as he walks to his car. Just as he's about to open the door, a man approaches him and asks, "Excuse me, are you Sung Jinwoo?" He introduces himself as Adam White, a senior official from the Federal Bureau of Hunters. Adam hands Jinwoo his business card and says, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sung. Feel free to call me Adam." He apologizes for the sudden appearance, explaining that he's been difficult to track down, and he adds that he even stopped by their office. Jinwoo, now thinking Adam might be the person Jinho mentioned who was looking for him, asks, "What business do you have with me?" Adam responds that he wants to share some information with Jinwoo. Intrigued, Jinwoo asks, "What kind of information?" Adam replies, "Perhaps no country or institution in the world could provide the information I'm about to share, except us." When Jinwoo asks why they're willing to share this information with him, Adam explains, "Because we benefit from sharing knowledge with special individuals like you." He further explains that they had planned to visit him for another reason, but after seeing the events of the Jeju Island raid, their deputy director wanted to meet him in person. Adam smiles and adds, "I'd say this is unprecedented, and our deputy director will explain the rest of the details. There's a car nearby if you'd like to meet with him." Curious about the information Adam wants to share, Jinwoo gets into his car and thinks, "Information, huh?" Still unsure if the details they wish to provide are reliable, he tells Adam that he will give it some thought and contact him later. Smiling, Adam comments, "How silly of me. I forgot that a good hand should never be hidden when striking a deal." Then he adds, "An upgrader." Jinwoo is taken aback. Adam explains, "An upgrader is an awakened being who can enhance the abilities of another awakened being. Have you heard of them?" As he asks, the scene shifts to a car where Adam and Jinwoo arrive at a building. Adam then introduces Jinwoo to Michael Connor, the deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Hunters. Michael shakes Jinwoo's hand and says, "It's a pleasure to meet you." After the introductions, Adam announces that he will serve as their interpreter. Michael, being direct, slides a stack of immigration documents across the table and says, "It usually takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years for processing, but we're willing to make an exception for you." He adds, "Just say the word, and you'll be granted American citizenship in a second." Jinwoo, however, responds seriously, "I came here because Mr. White said you have some information to share with me. An awakened being who can enhance the abilities of another awakened being. An upgrader. Is it possible for a hunter's abilities to be upgraded?" Jinwoo asks. Michael smiles and replies, "Actually, the person who possesses such power is here right now." Looking to the back, he instructs his staff, "Please tell Ms. Sellner to come in." As Ms. Sellner approaches, Mr. Connor introduces Norma Sellner to Jinwoo, informing him that she is the only person in the world capable of enhancing the abilities of awakened beings. Observing her, Jinwoo thinks that she seems like a completely different type of awakened being. Michael then speaks up, telling Miss Sellner to explain to Jinwoo the extent of her powers. Miss Sellner begins by addressing Jinwoo, acknowledging that he might be skeptical about what she's about to say. She adds that everyone had the same doubtful look when they first heard it. However, she tells him that once he experiences her power, he will beg for more. This prompts Mr. Connor to call out to her as she approaches Jinwoo. Mrs. Sellner explains that Jinwoo might already be aware that every awakened individual has a limit to their strength, and no one can surpass that limit. An awakened being's rank would always remain the same unless they undergo a second awakening. This, she notes, was common knowledge among hunters. Jinwoo then asks, "But you can change that?" To which Ms. Selner responds, "Yes." She reveals that she has the power to help awakened beings break through their limitations. Through a process of 3 stages, she can lift their limitations. She adds that she didn't even know what to call this power, but she is capable of performing a force reawakening. In simple terms, she can bring out a person's true potential. Mr. Connor agrees with her and confirms that everything she says is true. However, he points out that Ms. Selner would need a long period of rest after each use of her power, which means she can only help 3 or 4 individuals per year. Jinwoo thinks to himself that he would be one of the 3 or 4 people she would help. If what she said was true, then she must have an incredible ability. He then asks, "How effective is the process exactly?" Ms. Selner explains that the results vary for each individual, but after going through all 3 stages, an individual would experience a strength increase of anywhere from 20% to 30%. Upon hearing this, Jinwoo is stunned. A 20% to 30% increase in strength seems insane. He now understands why Hwang Dong-soo had decided to go to America, despite facing so much public criticism. Jinwoo thinks to himself, who would turn down such an offer? He then asks, what if someone finds out about her powers? Mr. Connor replies, explaining that this is exactly why she is under their care. They ensure her safety while compensating her with a suitable salary. In return, Ms. Selner would help enhance the abilities of their selected hunters. Mr. Connor then introduces her again to Jinwoo, explaining that her power would be used on him as a gift. Still doubtful, Jinwoo asks, "You mean as an offer?" Mr. Connor clarifies that once he becomes a hunter for the Federal Bureau, he would be given top priority and receive preferential benefits. Additionally, they would arrange meetings with the guild of his choice and help him sign the best contract. Miss Selner slides a plate across the table and tells Jinwoo that he doesn't need to decide right away, as they are only easing him into the idea for now. Jinwoo asks, "Excuse me?" And Ms. Selner reiterates that, as they said, this is a gift. Afterward, Mr. Connor asks for permission to lift his limits. Jinwoo asks, "For nothing in return?" Mr. Connor explains that he should think of it as a complimentary service. Jinwoo, recalling Ms. Selner's words that he would beg for more once he experienced it, realizes she is confident in her results. Ms. Selner then asks Jinwoo to hold out his hand and look into her eyes closely, telling him that this is the first step. Michael, watching the scene, thinks to himself that Jinwoo has already taken the bait and is keeping his cool. However, once the first stage is complete, Michael believes Jinwoo will likely try to reach out to them, and if he is an impatient type, he might sign the papers right away. Meanwhile, Jinwoo's hand begins to glow as Miss Selner holds it. Mr. Connor reflects on Jinwoo's past achievements, how he succeeded in the Jeju Island raid with powers that had never been seen before, and wonders what else Jinwoo could accomplish. As a green aura surrounds Jinwoo and the light in his eyes intensifies, the process continues. Miss Selner's eyes begin to glow, and she is enveloped by a powerful aura. Suddenly, it becomes clear that she has shifted to a place filled with darkness. A face appears behind her, where only darkness remains. Gradually, a figure emerges from the shadows and slowly approaches her. The figure comes closer until it is right in front of her, staring with a terrifying light in its eyes. At this, Miss Selner screams and the process is abruptly halted, shocking everyone in the room. Suddenly, some of their agents draw their guns and point them at Jinwoo, demanding to know what he has done to Miss Selner. Mr. Connor angrily shouts at them, asking if they have lost their minds and if they don't recognize who Jinwoo is. He calls them morons and tells them to go check on Miss Selner if they are concerned. Bowing his head, Mr. Connor apologizes to Jinwoo for the agent's behavior, saying they had stepped out of line. Still shocked, Jinwoo replies, "It's all right." Angrily, Mr. Connor approaches one of the agents and tells him that if they had done something like this to Thomas Andre or Lu Jigang, they would all be dead by now. He coldly orders, "Got it." The agent, terrified, quickly agrees. Mr. Connor then asks Ms. Selner what happened, noticing that she is still trembling. He remarks that she is drenched in sweat and asks if she is feeling unwell. After that, Mr. Connor explains to Jinwoo that Ms. Selner is feeling unwell and asks if it would be okay to reschedule the procedure for another time. Jinwoo agrees. Mr. Connor then instructs Adam to escort Jinwoo out of the room. Once Jinwoo has left, Mr. Connor turns to Ms. Selner and asks what happened. Her face is still filled with fear, and her hands tremble as she stutters, "He's a king, and a powerful one at that." Mr. Connor is stunned by her words and asks if she means Jinwoo is as strong as a national-level hunter. Ms. Selner shakes her head, unable to explain further, and reveals that she hasn't experienced anything like this before. "He is a king," she repeats, "but not an ordinary one." She explains, adding, "While I was looking at him, he was also looking back at me, an infinite darkness within him." Ms. Selner says that there is no limit to his power. Fast forward, we see Jin-ho sitting in the office as he takes care of some business. He says, "These haters, sending complaints after getting sued and crying like kids, that won't work." After some time, he finishes his work and thinks he has managed to single out all the groups slandering Jinwoo. As he rests, he sees Jinwoo standing behind him, who tells him, "You sure are working hard." Jinho thinks. He comes and goes without even making a sound. Jinwoo asks if there was any trouble. Jinho tells him everything is going smoothly and asks why Jinwoo is dressed like that. Jinwoo hands him a bag full of magical cores, saying, "You said we needed money for the guild." Looking at that, Jinho tells him they don't need to worry about salaries for the employees. Jinwoo asks what he means, and Jinho reminds him they need another member for the guild. To hire someone, they need to pay them salaries. Jinwoo tells him, "Even if we need a member to just fill in the empty space in the guild, we want someone who is sincere, who can stay and work with us." Jinho, with a serious look, tells Jinwoo there is one more urgent thing they need to take care of first. They need a name for their guild. Hearing that, Jinwoo tells him, "I thought it was something really serious." Jinho tells him, "This is a very serious matter." He starts suggesting names like Sungyu Guild after Jinwoo's last name, even though Yusung sounds more natural. Or maybe they could be the Wuho Guild, after the last characters in their names, or Jin Jin Guild, using their middle characters. Hearing all the suggestions, Jinwoo decides to name the guild Solo Play Guild, explaining, "After all, it's a solo player guild." Hearing that, Jinho thinks, was that supposed to be funny? As they talk, they hear a knock at the door. Jinho goes to check who it is. The person asks if this is Hunter Jinwoo's guild office. Jinho tells the person, yes, it is, and as he looks at them, he is shocked to see it is Hunter Cha. Jinho asks her what she is doing there, and Cha replies, saying she wishes to join his guild. After they sit down, Jinwoo asks her to clarify why she's there. Hunter Cha tells him, "Like I said, I want to join your guild." Hearing that, Jinwoo thinks, "I'm so confused about what's going on." He asks her if the chairman asked her to join his guild, or if maybe Hunter Choi kicked her out of the guild. She tells him that's not the reason. Jinwoo, with a serious look on his face, asks her, "So why would you want to join my solo play guild?" She is surprised to hear the name, and asks him if he really named his guild that. Jinwoo tells her, "Yes. What's the problem with the name? The vice master and I agreed to it." Jinho tells him he never agreed to anything, asking, "What about the names that I suggested?" He looks at Cha, analyzing her pulse, breath, and expression. She's pretending to be calm, but she can't fool me. "Just why are you trying to join my guild?" he asks her. "It's been 2 years since you were awakened. I assume that you're still in contract with the Hunter Guild." She tells him, "I have enough money to pay the penalty." Hearing that, Jinwoo thinks, she is even willing to pay the penalty. He tells her, "Our guild currently doesn't have enough resources to compensate for a hunter like you." She tells him, "That's no problem, as I don't need a down payment either." He asks her, "Why would you want to join our guild then, as there is nothing for you to gain here?" She starts thinking, how should I explain this? Even if I do, it'll definitely sound crazy because at first I was just drawn by the fact that his mana didn't smell like the other hunters. But during the Jeju Island raid, I thought I was going to die. The story shifts to the past when Cha regained consciousness after the Jeju Island raid. She asks the chairman where she is, and he explains that she is inside a helicopter, and they had just landed at the Hunters Association. He says, "Soon they'll send you and the Hunters to the hospital." She asks about Jinwoo, and if he was the one who saved them from that monster. The chairman tells her, yes, it was him. Hearing that, Cha thinks, it wasn't a dream, and wonders, I almost died this time. And a similar situation might happen in the future, where I can't possibly avoid death. We see Cha in the present as she is thinking about how she should explain everything to him. She starts to blush, thinking, I wish to stand by your side till the very end. Seeing her like this, Jinwoo wonders, what's up with her? Is it something she can't tell me? As she tries to calm down, Jinwoo thinks, why can't you answer me? Looking at her blushing face, he can tell that she is hiding something. He asks her, so you won't answer me? Cha replies, I want to live comfortably. Is something wrong with that? Hearing her answer, Jinwoo thinks, Hunter Cha is only 22 years old, and the burden of being an S rank must be hard for her. The hunters also suffered greatly during the Jeju Island raid, so I can understand why she wants to join us. Jinwoo tells her, there's an entrance test for our guild. She tells him, that wasn't in the recruiting notice. Jinwoo tells her, maybe the guild vice master made a mistake since it's a new rule. He asks Jinho to go and fetch them some drinks and snacks. After he leaves, Hunter Cha asks him, what kind of test is it? Jinwoo tells her, you have to win against one of my summons. Cha asks him, am I that much of a weakling in your eyes? What kind of summon is it? Jinwoo, hearing that, tells her, for you, Hunter Cha, I'll use my strongest summon. They start to get up, and Cha asks him, when's the test? Jinwoo tells her, let's do it now, and suggests, how about we do it in the gymnasium of the association? He thinks, this is a good chance for me to test if I can use the shadow exchange with two people. He tells her, you don't have to leave. We can use a shortcut. He gets close to her saying, we just have to stick together for a bit. When they are ready, Jinwoo uses shadow exchange, and they both get covered by darkness. Meanwhile, Jinho is entering the room with something to eat, and after entering, he sees a high orc standing in front of him instead of Jinwoo and Cha. They both stare at each other awkwardly as the orc takes the food from his hand and eats it in one bite. The scene shifts to the gymnasium where the two have teleported. Cha is surprised and asks Jinwoo, how did you do that? Meanwhile, Jinwoo thinks, I was right. The shadow exchange works as a gateway since I was able to move with a person in it. He tells Cha, let's get started. She tells him she left her weapon behind, and Jinwoo asks, are you talking about that pickaxe? Cha tries to explain, that's not my weapon. Jinwoo, smiling, tells her, I was just kidding. She tells Jinwoo that there might be a weapon worth borrowing in the storage. She opens the door and sees a room filled with weapons. She thinks, these weapons are reserves, so they aren't that good, but they're suitable for practice. She comes out with a sword, telling Jinwoo she is ready. Jinwoo asks, will you be all right? That's not the weapon you normally use. Cha tells him the weapon doesn't matter, as the monsters never fight on their terms anyway. Jinwoo thinks she's right. He wonders, who should I summon? An ordinary soldier would be shredded to pieces. He summons Yggdrasil, saying, among my soldiers, he is the best swordsman. She asks him, what are the conditions for winning or losing? Jinwoo explains, you either win by destroying the summon, or you lose when you decide to surrender. He thinks, I said I'd call my strongest soldier to test her, but Baru is too much for her. After they had prepared, Jinwoo gave the signal to start the test. He noticed her gathering up her mana, and a thought hits him about what she said. Weapons don't matter. He stopped them, saying, wait a moment, and asked Cha to turn back. As she did, he started to take out a weapon from his inventory. It was the Demon King's longsword. He hands it to Yggdrasil, telling him to use it, and tells them to start now. They both prepare to fight. Yggdrasil, using the sword's ability, launches a powerful wave of electricity toward Cha. But before the attack lands, she manages to dodge it. Seeing this, Jinwoo thinks, as expected, she's fast. If this were an average person, they would have died at the slightest scratch of that swing. As the fight continues, they start to exchange blows, creating a lot of noise that attracts the attention of Chairman Gogenhee, who was sitting in his office. He thought there wasn't supposed to be anyone in the gym today. He called someone, asking them to connect the CCTV footage inside the gym to his room. As he looks at the footage, he notices it is Jinwoo and Hunter Cha. He wonders when these two entered the building. He remembers Cha's expression from the time when he told her Jinwoo was the one who saved her, and with a smile thinks, I really was blind. He tells the person on the call to turn off all the CCTV cameras in the gym and write down that there was an inspection today. After that, the chairman sits calmly in his office when suddenly the ground starts to shake. After everything quiets down, he says, as expected, they're enjoying their youth. Meanwhile, Jinwoo is surprised to see something. Yggdrasil was defeated by Hunter Cha. She asks him, was the Black Knight the strongest one you have? You said you'd summon your strongest, didn't you? Please summon him now. Hearing that, Jinwoo tells her, you might get hurt. But she replies, it'll be fine because I would like to fight him once again. She sees a dark aura emerging behind Jinwoo as he summons Beru. He asks her if she is sure she will be okay. The episode ends here. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank